Hey everyone, it's Nicole. Welcome back to my channel, Relax.Cut.Glue. And today I'm working in my big random glue book. It's nearly finished. I only have a few blank spaces left to work in before this thing is completely done, and then we can do a flip through. And you guys, I am so excited to do a flip through of my big random glue book. I've been working on it all year, and it's really big, and even I haven't sat down and looked page per page just to like flip through it because I've been saving that for the very end. So that will be coming up soon. And the other day on my community tab on my YouTube page, I did a post asking you guys to ask me any questions, and I would do a Q&A video. So I'm going to do that right now and answer some of your questions. This will be part one. If you want to ask more questions, please feel free to go on my community tab under the post where I ask for questions and post them there, or you can post them on this video because I will do a part two. So yeah, let's get started. So let's see. One of the questions was, what glue books do you have planned for the new year? So obviously, I'm planning on finishing Big Random. I have my elephant glue book that I plan on working on all year. That's not one that I want to finish rapidly. It's just kind of a journal that I can work on, or glue book, I'm sorry, throughout the year whenever I find something elephanty. And then I also have my rainbow glue book. Again, that's also not one that I'm sitting down to finish, start to finish. It's just whenever I find something that's rainbow that I want to put in there, I will do so. And then for books that I want to, kind of do a start and finish, I want to start another black and white glue book. So I started harvesting the last couple days some black and white images. And I would also like to do a color themed glue book. That actually is one of my very favorites to do, where each page is a different color. So I'm really excited about that. So that's kind of what I have planned so far for glue books for the year. All right. My favorite journal or craft that I've done so far. I've done a lot of different types of crafting over the years, so it's hard for me to say what my favorite thing is. Honestly, probably my big random glue book, because it's not the most artistic thing I've ever done, but it's a big book that I'm completing, and I have a problem with follow through. I get bored really easily when I craft. And that's why I like to do smaller books, because for me, I feel more accomplished and I get them done versus them, working in them for a few months and then tossing them aside because I'm bored. Although I will say I do come back to those books. So they're not all lost. But yeah, I think my big random, I think that's probably been the best because I've had the most fun with it. Collage on the cheap. So for those of you that don't want to buy magazines or books or whatever, some ways that I have found to collage on the cheap are, one is wrapping paper. If you are at any kind of event and there's people are opening up presents, take that wrapping paper, smooth it out, take it home, use that to collage. You can get Dollar Tree wrapping paper, which I have found some really cool ones to collage with, even some that you could fussy cut out. You can get free magazines, and you can, even at the stores, kind of where you walk in and out, there's usually some free catalogs or free magazines there. You can grab those. You can go on Facebook sites like the Marketplace and ask for free magazines. A lot of people will be ready to give them up. Some might even have some up there asking them to go, to a home for free. You can also use junk mail. You can use scrapbook paper or any kind of paper that you have. You can also use coloring books, colored or uncolored. I mean, the list goes on and on of things you can do for really cheap. All my glue book stuff is very inexpensive. My magazines are free. I'll get Dollar Tree wrapping paper or wrapping paper on sale. And honestly, even expensive wrapping paper is still a good deal, even if you spent $5 or $6 on a roll, because think about how much paper is there. That's going to last you forever, right? So those are some of the things that I have done inexpensively. Asking friends and family for magazines. You can get them from your library. Sometimes they'll charge you, a quarter or something, and sometimes they give them to you for free. So that's how I would collage on the cheap. Junk mail, catalogs, free magazines, ask around if anybody has any. Books from the thrift store, books that people are giving away are great to cut up. So yeah, that's how I collage on the cheap. How long have you been glue booking? I have been glue booking for about 5 years, I think, give or take. I can't pinpoint the exact time, but I would say about 5 years I've been doing this, off and on. How do you avoid and or get past creative block? I don't. I also get creative block just like everybody else. When I feel like I'm getting creative block, I will go on YouTube and watch my friends or watch other collage artists, or I'll actually just sit down at my desk and kind of just start fussy cutting. And sometimes when I just sit down and start fussy cutting, like all of a sudden I'm like, ooh, I like this image. This would look good here, yada, yada. And it'll get me excited to create again. So either I'll go on YouTube and watch some crafty videos, because even if it's like watching somebody create something out of polymer clay, right? This still gives me the creative juices to, want to go and create something on my own. So it doesn't matter even what it is. I just sometimes watching somebody else create something makes me realize, hey, I want to create, and then I'll come sit down, flipping through my glue books. Honestly, fussy cutting really helps me because I start seeing images and then it kind of makes me want to start, gluing and playing. So that really helps me. Okay, so let's see, what else? Let me flip the page. Okay. I get this question a lot. What is the purpose of a glue book? There is no purpose. I mean, there is a purpose, but there doesn't have to be a purpose, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Glue booking for me is very therapeutic and relaxing. The cutting of the paper, tearing of the paper, rearranging things, or just randomly gluing things down is very therapeutic to me and relaxing. And that's why I glue book. And I know a lot of other people glue book for that same reason too, because they've said so. Also, it's just a creative way to use recycled materials in a new way. And I love using recycled materials. So yeah, like I take a magazine, think about like pick 5, right? We take 5 magazine pages randomly, and then we're forced to use our brain to create something magical out of these 5 pages. Is it always magical? No, it's not always magical, but it's fun. It gets your creative juices flowing, and that's what I really love about glue books. It can be very simplistic and easy. It can be very therapeutic and fun, and it can also be challenging if you choose to take that road and make it challenging. Okay, what do I do with a finished glue book? I get asked this so much. People are like, well, what do you do with it? Well, it's art. It may not be fine art, but it's still art, and I display them. I look through them. I flip through them. Other people like to look at them. My big random, several people have suggested that would make a great coffee table book. Yeah, I have them on a shelf, and I like to look through them. And I take a lot of pride in the books that I've completed, because it takes a lot of time and effort to complete a book, right? And it's fun to go back and look and see how you've progressed, and just to flip through. I mean, these images I'm using for a reason. Either I was drawn to them because they're silly or funny, or they touched me in a way that, made me think about something. That sounds weird, but you know what I'm saying? Like, they really touched me, or they're bright and vibrant and colorful, or they're just plain freaking weird. And I love those. I love the weird images. So my point is, I was attracted to these images for a reason. And when I put them down in a book, when I flip through the book, you still get that kind of euphoria feeling of, these images are great. I really like what I see. They make me happy, right? So I don't choose pictures that make me unhappy. I choose not to use anything like that. Everything I use makes me happy, and only radiates positivity for me. Okay. Let's see here. What else? What do you do when you end up not liking the layout of a page? So it happens. It happens a lot. What I find interesting is when I don't like a Gluebook page and, I set it down, I take a picture of it, put it on Instagram, whatever, and I'm like, this is just not my favorite, right? When I come back to it the next day, I see it in a whole different way. And I don't know if it's because I was so involved in the process at the moment, but a lot of times when I come back to things, I tend to like them more. And yeah, another thing is, even if I don't come back and think, oh yeah, this is better magically today than it was yesterday, I leave it. It is what it is. They're not all a masterpiece, and they're not all meant to be masterpieces. I may have learned from that experience. I may have just glued to enjoy my time. Yeah, I really don't let it bother me if I don't like the way that the image looks at the end. If it really bothers me, I'll throw it away or cover it up or add more to it or break out some Posca pens or markers or crayons or paint or whatever and alter it in some other way and just allow myself that freedom to have fun with it because I don't like it anyway, so I might as well play and learn, right? And change things on it. And maybe I like it more and maybe I really hate it now and I throw it away. Life is just too short. I really honestly try very hard not to let them bother me. And if they do, I throw them away or I cover them up because ain't nobody got time for that, right? Okay. Why do people prefer a glue stick over glue? So it's a personal preference. I do notice that people who glue book tend to use a glue stick versus wet glue or matte medium. The reason for me personally, I can only answer for myself, is that a glue stick isn't wet. And when you use a wet glue, it makes your magazines buckle and get wrinkly and they tear really easily. And because a glue stick is more of a dry glue, you get a lot smoother image when it goes down. And some people don't care whether it's smooth or not, and some do. I care. I will fully admit that I have OCD when it comes to that. Some days I'm better about it than others, but a dry glue allows me to move my image around while I'm placing it down, and it also gives me a little wiggle room, and my image won't tear, especially when you're using magazines because it's such a thin paper that it can tear very easily, especially when wet. So that is why a lot of people who glue book or collage like to use a glue stick. Let's see, what else I have. Where do you get all your magazines? So like I mentioned earlier about getting free stuff, I get magazines from friends and family. My hair salon saves them for me. I ask them really nicely if they would, and they put them in a bag, and I pick them up when I go in to get my hair done. It never hurts to ask. They can always say no. That's the worst case scenario, right? Maybe they say yes. So it's really not that big of a deal to ask somebody. I have also gone on the Facebook Marketplace and got free magazines. I also do recyclebank.com, which is a place you can go. You answer questions about recycling. They play short videos and you earn points every time you answer a question. And you build up your points and you can get free magazine subscriptions. And that's called recyclebank.com. It's only here in the United States, unfortunately, for you out of the country folks. So that is a great way to get free magazine subscriptions. Yeah, so I get them. I also do free catalogs. I will Google free catalogs and I'll sign up for those and I get those in the mail. I also look through all my junk mail for images, little catalogs that come in, or even for the grocery store, you get some great images in there and great words. So that's how I get my magazines, is free, honestly, from friends and family, from my hair salon, from Marketplace, and that's the 411 on that. Okay, so Debbie asked me, and I'm calling her out on this because this is such a hard question, and it's, how do you describe your favorite color to someone who can't see? Okay, wow. I don't know. That is a great question. My favorite color is teal or turquoise. I love blues. So for me, it's happiness. When I see that color, it makes me smile and it makes me happy. So I don't know how to describe it other than it brings me joy and happiness. I really don't know. That is a fabulous question, and I have no idea. I'm so glad I don't have to do that for somebody. Okay. So the last question I'm going to answer is from Lori. She wants to know where her bone folder is and why babies cry in the store when she's around. One, I stole your bone folder. And two, babies cry because you stick your tongue out at them, girl. I know you're doing it. Oh, man. She had a couple more questions, and I'll answer those in the next video, in the part 2. I hope you guys have really enjoyed watching me glue book in Big Random while I talk to you guys about the questions that you asked. And I hope that the answers I gave were great and they help you and it's what you wanted to hear. So yeah, ask me more questions and I will answer them again in the part 2. Here's a finished product of my spread today in Big Random. I hope you guys all have a fabulous day and a fabulous weekend. Until next time, bye.